Okay, guys, got a little something different here. I mean, I guess rants aren't completely different for the channel, but this one's about that if you want to skip a couple of minutes into the video, skip the rant, you'll see I'll be showing you how to install LEDs on here. But here in the beginning, we're going to rant about a little post here. He was posting, how to install the LEDs in here. And this is the group is particularly about trailblazers. That's all what you're really supposed to be talking about on trailblazers. And if you really have never worked on one of these instrument clusters and you look at it at first, you would think, this is probably a trailblazer. It's got 6 gauges on it, and my trailblazer only has 6 gauges, so this is probably it. But if you've worked on instrument clusters before, you'll note very clearly this is definitely from right here a Silverado Trailblazer. I mean Silverado, Tahoe, Yukon, any of those Sierra. Specifically a 2005 or up. It's not a 2004 because they would have, or older, or 2003, 2004 because it'd have the resistors there. Wouldn't have this voltage regulator. So yeah, you can tell what instrument cluster we're working with this photo right here. Um, but so in his post, I wish I was better at editing the videos. I'm having to re-record this portion because I'm just not that good at editing. I can't blur out all the stuff I'd like to, but in uh, in the part where if I could show you the text, I'd show it to you. But in the text, you would see where he said that, "Hey, I marked all the positives in red for you, so that way you can let's do it." So he got this one right. He got that one right. But he got that one wrong. That one's wrong. This is definitely positive, and I'll show you that here in a second in the video of, just proof underneath the camera that he was wrong. And I confronted him about it. I said, hey, I mean, I didn't really confront him. I was just like, hey, you got that wrong, and then I was also like, hey, this is a forum for trailblazers. Why are you posting about Silverado on here? Um, but he's obviously just trying to get business, showing off how he can do it. But yeah, one of the things I found funny was the captain tape on there. It's like, you're so bad with a soldering iron that you can't not melt the. I guess if I could talk, just don't melt that. But yeah, you don't need captain tape there. But I mean, if you really knew what you were doing, you would go ahead and while you're changing out all these stepper motors, because he put new stepper motors on, he mentioned it, while you have all the stepper motors off, take the bulbs off, then go ahead, install your LEDs, and then put your stepper motors on, because this one right here is about impossible to get at with the stepper motor in there. It is really hard to get your hand down in there and set your LED in with the stepper motor on. It's just a whole lot easier if you do it with it off. So and that's technique wise. I mean, obviously he doesn't do a ton of these, or else he'd have figured that out on his own. But yeah, this one's just wrong. And if you're gonna share information, which I think is great, I love it when people are out sharing information on how to repair electronics and encouraging other people to do it. But if you're gonna do that, make sure you're giving them correct information because I guarantee you, someone it had I not commented and other people commented on it going, hey, you got that wrong. Uh, People would have tried to do this and they'd have got it wrong and they got frustrated and they would may not have known anything about LEDs and just thought, oh, I got a bad LED, return to sender, or I can't solder for crap. This isn't working. Let me just mail this off to this guy that showed me how to do it, or mail it off to someone else. Like if you're gonna share information, make sure it's accurate. Help encourage these new people that are trying to learn the process to do it themselves, and that way they don't have to send it off to other people. But all right, so let me show you why he's wrong. All right, so this is a fluke right here. So that way I'm not faking this. Let me go ahead and turn power onto this cluster. This cluster's no good. It's a parts one, but I didn't want to take apart another one. All right, so here we go. Positive at the bottom, Negative at the top. Oh, wow, that's the correct orientation. See, let me flip it over there. Oh, it gives it negative. Oh, that's backwards. Oh, shoot. You were wrong, dude. First of all, it's a Chevy Trailblazer forum. Why are you talking about Silverados on there and sharing the information on there as if it's. He didn't even mention that it was a Silverado Tahoe, so somebody might pop open because he didn't capture more than like this much and that much and that much in each photo. So if you don't know what you're doing, you would think that it's your Trailblazer and stuff, and then you'll get them all in there, and they are not the same. Everything's kind of wonky inside those. So yeah, they'd get this, and they'd try putting them on as if it was that, and then they'd be like, "Oh God, I can't get it," and then call him up and pay him to do it. Grab some LEDs, I'll trim them up, and we'll start putting them on. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. Pretty much covered how to do it in the explanation. Just remember, you know, it's positive, 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 positive. That one's your positive. See, that one is your positive there. Top one is your positive here. Bottom one's your positive there. And bottom one right there's your positive. So those are really all what you really need to know. The turn signals, I don't remember them. I'd have to look, but don't put LEDs there. There's no point in it. Just leave the incandescents. They'll never burn out. Same with your cruise control light. Don't bother. So yeah, just leave these three alone. There's just no point in messing with them. If you want to put LEDs on there, turn on your hazards, get your voltmeter, figure out the orientation of it. But there's really just no point in putting LEDs there or there. They're not going to look any better. They're not going to be any I mean, they might be brighter, but if they're brighter, it's going to start shining through to other parts that you don't want it to shine through to. So yeah, highly do not recommend putting LEDs in those spots. Just leave them as incandescents. You can probably get away with leaving the stock ones in. I've never run into burnout stock bulbs there, but I have run into them where they had cracked solder joints. Just soldered them back on, no issues. So, yep, do not recommend changing those. And already showed you the orientation, so it'll be just a pretty quick video of me just soldering LEDs onto the board. Okay, so here is the big test. Let's see if I got them all right. I didn't check polarity before doing this whole thing. I didn't mark the whole board, but I already know I got them all right because I have these memorized. And you can look at the very top of them. You can see the cathode and anode, so you can tell positives is direction on them. So yeah, I can look at the top of them, see which direction's which polarity is which, whatever, however you want to look at it. Do that, and then let's go turn it on. Here we go, and we have all green LEDs lighting up here with yeah, not a lot of effort at all. It took a couple of minutes to do. Solder them right on there. Um, Follow the polarity that I mentioned if you want, or you can just guess, and you'll get a couple wrong, and you just switch them around and try again. It's not that hard, um, but not that serious. So to end this, I was not trying to bully this person on this forum, not trying to suggest anybody else do that either. Leave him alone. It's whatever. He posted something stupid. Just the whole point, the whole takeaway of the rant portion is share your information. If you know something and you have good information for other people, share it. It's great. People need to learn how to do this stuff so that way the more people that know how to do this, the better, because maybe it's competition for people that do this as a business. I do it as a hobby. It's a hobby for me. But yeah, the more people that know how to do this, the more people know that it can be done and will go seek out third-party repairs instead of paying $400 at the dealership or more to get these repaired, or which they don't repair them, they just replace them with refurbished ones and then send them to some other country or some other part of the country to be refurbished. I think most of them go to like US Radio and they do most of the refurbishing. I'm not 100% sure though. Um, but yeah, that takeaway is share your information. If you have good information, share it. If you're wrong, that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. Just admit, hey, I'm 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 wrong. I'm sorry if I put wrong information. Don't try to hide behind, well, it worked when I did it, when I'm presenting you a photo of how you were incorrect. There's there's no model of the Silverado that the polarities swapped on this one. I've done them all. I know what they all look like. I know how the board's made. You're incorrect. You were too vague in your information. You shared it on the wrong forum. Too vague. You didn't mention what you were swapping LEDs on. You were incorrect in your information, and when you were confronted about it, you wouldn't admit that you were wrong. So there's three strikes. So you're just wrong, and you shouldn't have done that. So that's my rant there. Hopefully y'all took away something from how to do. I wasn't going to do a video on how to do the LEDs because it's really easy. There's plenty of tutorials out there. I wasn't planning on doing a video on it, but I've wanted to be productive. And who am I to say, you're wrong, you did it wrong, you're, yeah, if I'm not going to do the other thing. That's the other thing I can't stand is people calling out people on their tutorials, but then they don't have anything. They're not bringing anything productive to the table. They're just going, hey, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to at least bring something to the table. So, hey, guy, you're wrong. And here's me bringing something to the table on how to do it. Sorry, it was on a beat up parts board that's missing the main IC, and I mean I've robbed a ton of parts off of it. So yeah, not the best board to demo it on, but yeah, that's it. That's how you do it. Please like. If you don't like the rant, all right, thumbs down. That's okay too. But please subscribe, share this video with your friends that might be interested in doing some instrument cluster repair. If you're interested in having me repair it, that's great. Contact me, but that's not the point of these. So the thing that people keep mentioning is like, oh, you just do this YouTube stuff as advertising. It is not advertising. This is me, showing you how to do this. Because if it was advertisement, I wouldn't explain anything. If it was advertisement, you would just see a video real quick of me just throwing a bunch of parts on there, not explain anything. But that's not what this is. This is educational, just for you to learn how to do it. So, yeah, like and subscribe.